Hi everyone, how have you all been? It's great to see all of you again. What I did last week was I did the watch party of Monster House over on my Patreon and Discord's private Discord server. So we took a week off of the YouTube live stream, so I'm so glad to be back. It's great to see all of you again. I hope you've all had a great week. Let's see, who's in the chat? We got the G Gamer here, we got Khan, Fireboy, we got Goat in here as well, we have Ethan's Drawings, Zaki Burke we have as well, Mike, Rohan is here, Spirit Hero, Ash. Oh, it's so great to see all of you again. Oh, Garrett is here as well. Hi Garrett, you literally just jumped in at the right time. We just got the stream started. Let's see here. Who else? Mike is here. Oh, so good to see all of you again. Connor has jumped in just at the right time. Says, hello Eric, I'm 4 episodes into Stranger Things Season 4 and I'm really loving it so far. Episode 4, Dear Billy, I thought was fantastic. Oh, cool, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Mike is here again. Miles is here. Hi Eric, hope you had a good weekend. Yesterday I watched Back to the Future 40th anniversary. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's the 40th anniversary, which is interesting. I went and saw another movie in theaters yesterday, Shelby Oaks. So I just watched that, and I just finished writing my review for that movie today, so I'm going to try to get to work on that tomorrow. Also, for those of you that don't know, I'll just make mention of it. Let's find it. Where is it? That's not it. Where is it gone? Where is it? Nope. No, that's not it. That's not it. You'll see what I'm talking about, what I'm going to show you in a second. I think... Huh, seems to be off. Let's find it. Where did it go? I swear I had this image imported. Oh, here they are, I think. Yep, here it is. Yep, right here. Let's import that in. Although it's bizarre, I thought I already had it imported in, but I guess I didn't, so... Alright, here we go. Now, the G Gamer actually did a commission recently, and so did the Time Shadow, but I'll quickly mention it. The G Gamer did... Ooh, where's my arrow, because I can't point at this. Here it is. In fact, let's... There we go, move this around live. So you can see the G Gamer actually did 3 of these commissions, actually, for... He wanted me to... I said with these commissions, you can actually commission these using the link below. And by doing this, I can watch anything that you want me to watch that falls under these categories right here. So, for one thing, I've got... if you want me to watch 10-minute episodes of TV shows, or 20-minute episodes of TV shows, or 40 to 60-minute episode of TV shows, then all you have to do is donate £30, and once you do that, I'll watch a 10-minute episode of any show you want me to watch. And the G Gamer just so happened to pick 3 episodes of a show that he wanted me to watch. We did a Zootopia watch party over on my private Discord server a couple of weeks back now, I think. And because we did that, the G Gamer actually wanted me to watch 3 episodes of Zootopia Plus, which is actually a Disney Plus streaming show of Zootopia. So I did that, and I've watched the first episode. I've already got that up on my Patreon and private Discord, and now he wants me to do 2 more episodes. And yeah, apparently he wants me to watch all of them, which is interesting. So basically, yeah, this is what I've suggested. Sorry, this is what he suggested, and he wanted to go for these, and the Time Shadow went for this, and actually wanted me to watch that show, Once Upon a Time. So I'll be reacting to that over on my Patreon as well. So a huge thanks to the G Gamer and the Time Shadow for the support. because like I said, I always try to give you guys, for your support, I always try to give you content in return, and they've asked for that, so a huge thanks to those guys. And if any of you guys want me to watch a movie or a TV show, then these are the commission prices right here, and you'll watch me react to the entire episode, or even to the entire movie. So I just wanted to thank those guys, the G Gamer and the Time Shadow, for the support. I really do appreciate that, so a huge thanks to those guys. So yeah, just thought I'd mention that. So, Goat says, no party like a Zootopia party. Yeah, indeed. The first Zootopia, I had not seen that movie in years, so we actually got to watch that movie again for the first time in a long time, and I watched it with you guys, so that was a huge amount of fun. And Electrify has been a YouTube member for 14 months now, so a huge thanks to Electrify for being a member for that long. And Trevor has entered the chat. Hi Trevor, great to see you again. Joshman is here, says, how are you doing today, Eric? I'm glad you're feeling better. I am feeling much better now. The cough hasn't completely gone, but I'm feeling much better. And by the way, do you have any updates regarding your channel? Yes, regards to updates regarding my channel, I just put up the Carry versus video. I don't know, has everyone seen it? Be sure to let me know in the comments if you've seen my Carry versus video or not. But that video, that one kicked my butt. That was a hard one to make. Plus, I had to edit it while I had a cold. And the sponsor segment in there that I did for my brother's book, A Happy New Year, that was the last thing I edited for the video, and I literally finished editing that like an hour or two before I uploaded the video. So much work. You guys have no idea how much work went into that Carry versus video. I gotta say, that Carry versus video is actually my favorite versus video that I've made. Usually it always changes, but the Carry versus video I made is my favorite versus video. I spent so much time making it. I was incredibly passionate about making it. I learned new video editing techniques for this versus video, and I put in a bunch of jokes and references to things that I watched in the past that just perfectly fit. I did a Suits reference for the show Suits, I did a Yu-Gi-Oh reference, I did a Demon Slayer reference, and I even did a Peacemaker Season 2 reference in there. So that is one jam-packed versus video that really did. I put so much hard work into it, you wouldn't believe. To the point that even towards the end, I was feeling a little bit sick. Like, I felt like my head was about to explode because it's such a long versus video. I expected that versus video to be about 25 to maybe 30 minutes. It ended up being 45 minutes long, and that 15 minutes extra, that takes a long time to edit. And yeah, that was a very hard versus video to make, but also very rewarding. So please do share the video if you haven't, as like I said, I put so much work into this one, and I would really love for people to see that work that I put into it. So a huge thanks to all of you for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed that versus video, because you'll see it when you watch it. It was such a hard amount of work that went into it. Like, this is the first time it actually made me feel a bit like I felt a little bit like overwhelmed, like I was probably going to pass out while editing. It was insane. Like, it was really crazy editing this versus video. And Electrify has done a $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that super chat, buddy. He says, in my opinion, Scream 7 looks bad and is just playing damage control, and I hope this movie bombs. Just you wait till we talk about Scream 7, because I have a lot of things to say about the movie as well. Trevor says he dressed up as Art the Clown for Halloween. You know, that's funny. Art the Clown from the Terrifier movies, he really has had a big impact on horror, hasn't he? He's only really been around for not too long in the grand scheme of things, and yeah, people are going around as him for Halloween. Just like we found out here right now on the stream, because Trevor dressed up as him too. So yeah, let's see. Makoya, I hope I'm saying your name right. Apologize if I don't. He says, "What's up, Eric? Sorry I haven't been here lately. I just finished school." That's okay, bud. I'm glad you're here now. Thank you very much for joining. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, but I've got stuff to say about Scream 7 as well, so just you wait. Big Bash says, Eric, what did you dress up for Halloween in the past? Just some... in the past, I've not dressed up a lot, because I gotta say, here in the UK, we're not that crazy about Halloween. In America, it's a much bigger thing. But here, not so much. One thing that I like to do for Halloween is just stay in and watch a bunch of horror movies and things. But what I really did for Halloween was just complete the Carrie versus video. So that's what I did for Halloween, was complete that video, and I put it up just in the nick of time for you guys on October the 31st, so it would be released on Halloween. So that's what I did, and it was crazy hard. Goat says, I dressed up as no one because in my country we don't celebrate Halloween. Yeah, in the UK we're not so crazy about Halloween either. In my street, there is only one person that has decked their house out with Halloween decorations. Everyone else in the street, not so much. It's like, they don't really care. Halloween has just passed by this year. Like, probably more so than usual, and that's saying something. We didn't even get any trick-or-treaters knocking on our door as far as I'm concerned. So yeah. Oh, Mike says he dressed up as Ghostface. What did everyone dress up as for Halloween? Place your Halloween dress and your Halloween costumes in the comments right here. I'd be very curious. Manola, great to see you. I Hate Anime is here. He says he worked during Halloween. I was working during Halloween too. I was getting that Versus video out, and I was making that sponsor for my brother's horror novel, which is perfect for Halloween. Yeah. G-Gamer says, just a mask, because I only do it for the candy. Yeah, we watched Monster House on my Discord server. We did a watch party for Halloween. So I'm glad that was fun to do. It was a few days before Halloween, but, you know, it still got the Halloween spirit up. So I'm glad that was a fun thing to do. What we'll be doing this upcoming week, this next week, because today we're doing a live stream, next Sunday we'll be doing another watch party over on my private Discord server. And what we'll be doing is we'll be watching Coraline next. Halloween is over, but we'll watch one more Halloween. We'll do one more Halloween watch party before Thanksgiving comes, and then we'll start watching some Thanksgiving movies. Then we'll watch some Christmas movies when it's Christmas. So we've got a lot of fun watch parties ahead. So if you want to join my the watch parties and be a part of these watch parties, then all you got to do is join over at this perk right here, which is the perk that gives you my trailer reactions, early access to Versus videos, the game show, and my Let's Watch show, plus access to my private Discord server, and that's where we will be doing the watch parties. So the price for the watch parties will be going up soon, because I'm testing them to see if they're working right. But soon after they will go up, so be sure to join in for the watch parties, because you're really going to want to join in when we watch stuff like Coraline. Like I said, last week we did Monster House, the time before that we did Zootopia. We all had a ton of fun. So Coraline is coming up next week, and we'll all watch that together, and you'll hear my reactions. I'll give you my score for the movie, and we'll have a discussion about the movie once we finish watching it as well. I Hate Anime says, we watched Monster House an hour after the scheduled time. We did, actually, because we had a lot to talk about. A lot of us did. And some of us were getting our popcorns and our snacks ready. Some of us had to go to the bathroom. I had to go fill up my water bottle. And also, on top of that, what we also had to do... what was it? No, I was surprised as well that a lot of you guys had joined in to the Watch Party channel 50 minutes before I came on board. So all of them were like 10 of the Discord members were all chatting with each other. So that was a lot of fun. It's like, I'm glad that a lot of you guys are chatting with each other and building a relationship in the private Discord before I jump in. That's really nice to see. Really, the private Discord server is one of the best things I think I've done for this channel. It really allows me to actually communicate with all you guys, and it is just a ton of fun. And then we get to watch stuff together and everything. It is awesome. It really is. Caleb, it's great to see you here, says, what are your favourite Mission Impossible movies? Mine is one. Mine, I love quite a few of the Mission Impossible movies, but my favourite is probably the fourth one. So yeah. By the way, do you guys hear me clearly, or am I too low in volume? Let me know. Before we get started with the stories, I just want to know about that. Mike Basham says, Fallout. Good audio, you're fine, says Fireboy. Volume is good. Now you're good. I hear you loud and clear. That's good, because I've moved the microphone a little bit further away from me, so I have easier access to my keyboard. So that's good that you guys can still hear me. That's really, really good. I can just hear you clearly, just fine. That's excellent. Are you going to review Predator Badlands? Said Electrify. We'll talk about Predator Badlands in a minute. Just you wait. I've got stuff to say about that. And the situation with Predator Badlands and its PG-13 rating is worse than you might think. Just you wait. I'll explain that to you. I dress up nothing. Just stay at home watching Monster House at Halloween night, says Fireboy. Oh, nice. Joshman says, Zootopia 2 is coming out in a few weeks. Have you still thought about doing a versus video on the first one and the second one? And have you thought about doing a review on Zootopia 2? I'm still thinking about it. I've got a couple of other versus video ideas. I've also got other video ideas as well. But we'll see what happens. I've still got commission videos I'm trying to do as well for those that have commissioned videos. So I'm very, very busy. Plus I've got my personal stuff, my personal life going. So I'll try. But if I do a Zootopia versus video, I'm hoping it doesn't take too long to make that versus video, I'm hoping. Mr. Go Animator says, hello, Eric. Hi, thanks for joining the stream. Is this your first time on the stream? Or have you been on the live stream before, but you've changed your name? Because usually I always remember people when they join the stream, but this time I'm forgetting it. Spirit Hero says, hey, Eric, the unexpected Demon Slayer bit in your carry video made me laugh. Yeah, it surprisingly fit, that bit. It really did, and I was like, I'm going to put that in. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I liked that bit as well. Ooh, Goat says, I watched Scream 1 in March, Scream 2 in October, and Scream 3 yesterday. Nice. Mr. Go Animator says, I was there before, didn't join for a long time. Ah, right. Well, thanks for joining the stream. We got David and Thomas here as well. Eric, are you going to compare the Lilo and Stitch live action to the Sonic the Hedgehog movie? No, there's no reason to compare Lilo and Stitch to Sonic the Hedgehog. If I'm ever going to do a versus video with Sonic the Hedgehog, it'll probably be like a Mario video versus that. Although I think I've done that already, have I? I think I have. Hope you're doing well, Eric, says G-Gamer, and thanks for the reaction to the TV episode. And by the way, as a heads up, when I pay for the rest of the episodes, you're basically going to do the rest of the show. I will be, yeah, so I'll be watching that whole season for you. So yeah, that's for sure. What is your favourite Cartoon Network Halloween special, Eric? Ooh, Big Bash, that is a very good question. My favourite Halloween Cartoon Network special? Ed, Edd and Eddy had a really good one. Ooh, Ed, Edd and Eddy had a really good one. I also remember Billy and Mandy I'd say Billy and Mandy. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. They had a very good Halloween episode with Jack the Ripper. Was it Jack the Ripper, was it? It was a guy called Jack. So yeah, that was very funny. McCoya says, you did Mario vs. Sonic back in like 2021. Yes, so I did do the Sonic vs. Mario video. Yep, that's for sure. Garrett Murphy says, I used to like Mario and Sonic equally, but I slowly started to prefer Sonic. Yeah, that kind of happens, doesn't it, sometimes? Goat says, a Suburban film versus Human Centipede versus video. I have not seen the Human Centipede movies. I've seen clips on YouTube, and I think that's enough, but you never know. Like I said, commissions are there for a reason, so if you want me to, you just gotta commission it, and I'll be forced to do it. So the Dark Lord says, I must say, Carrie from the Carrie TV film looks like Steve Harrington from Stranger Things to me for some reason. That's interesting. That is very interesting. That the thing is, I feel a bit bad for putting that joke in there when I did a South Park reference in the Carrie versus video as well, by the way. When I had Cartman say, is that a chick or a dude? I felt a little bit bad, but it was kind of true. What they did to Carrie in that 2002 movie, she looked like a drug addict, and she looked more like a guy at the beginning. Like, you know, like at least you'd mistake her for being a guy, because she really looked done up. She looked a touch like Brad Dourif, I thought, in some of his bad days. That was not particularly good, I don't think. So yeah, that 2002 movie was kind of rough. There was some good stuff in there too, but watch the versus video, you'll know what I mean. I mean, there's some funny stuff. Really funny, over-the-top stuff in that 2002 Carrie movie. The lack of Steve in the new trailer for Stranger Things 5 is scaring me, says Mike. Angel Cruz says, can you do Predator 2 versus Prey versus Predator Badlands? We'll see what I do with Predator Badlands. I might just do a normal review, but we'll see what happens. Do you think Superman 79 is the most iconic or influential superhero movie? It is definitely one of them, because it was the first good superhero movie that came out, and it's surprising how good it was. If you watch that movie, and then just tell yourself this was made back in the 70s when superheroes were not taken seriously, it really is quite mind-blowing just how much things that first Superman movie got right. Even Kevin Feige over at the MCU said that they always refer to that Superman movie before they make any of their movies, and this is what he said back in the day. I don't know if he does that now, because clearly they're trying to just crank out as much content as they can now, so I don't know if that has any weighing in Marvel's decision making right now. Okay, let me increase the brightness here a little. I think I could have a bit more brightness on me. There we go, that looks better. Okay, Spirit... Oh, Tenrex is here. Oh, hi Tenrex, great to see you again. Okay, alright, so guys, what we're going to do now... is we're going to get onto the stories. And as always, before we get to the stories, I'm just going to let you guys know that if you want to ask me any questions, I won't be able to answer them right now as I'm speaking about the stories. However, if you want to ask me questions, I will answer them immediately if you do either a super chat on YouTube or if you do a Streamlabs chat, which is going to be... The link to the Streamlabs chat is in the description and in the pinned comment section. And your donations, they really do help support the channel, so I'd appreciate anything you can donate if you're able. That would be very much appreciated. And I will answer your questions immediately if you if you pose your questions in those ways, even if I am discussing these stories. Like you can see, some of the cold is still here a bit. Angela, I've not seen the Del Toro Frankenstein movie yet. I've not seen it in theaters. It's at the theaters, but I've not seen it yet. I'm going to watch it at home when it hits Netflix. That's what I'm going to be doing. Oh, Jess is here. Hi, Jess. We're just about to get into the stories, and I just told everyone about the rules about questions, that they got to do a super chat or a Streamlabs chat, and I'll answer their question immediately. I've just let them know that. iAnime, yes, it's at theaters for a limited time, so that's the deal Del Toro made with Netflix, and it's in the theaters, but I've just not seen it yet. And already we've got Iron Warrior, being the warrior that he is, has donated $2. Thank you very, very much, Iron Warrior, and I'm so glad to see you back in the stream, so thanks for joining. Who would you like to buy Warner Brothers and why? I would say I want to see Netflix buy Warner Brothers, because I feel like if Netflix bought Warner Brothers, I think they would want to maintain, you know, the whole strategy of Warner Brothers movies going to theaters. And not only that, but I think they will allow the creativity to kind of flow the way it's been flowing. I feel like if Paramount own Warner Brothers, then what they're going to do is make everything incredibly safe. Because the Ellisons who are running Paramount and who are trying to buy Warner Brothers, they like to play things incredibly safe. They don't like to take risks or anything like that. And I feel if they come along, I think they're going to gut Warner Brothers. I really think they are. I mean, they're already trying to they said they're going to take HBO Max and fold it into Paramount Plus, rather than take Paramount Plus and fold it into HBO Max, which I think would be much more effective. So I think they're not going to make the best choices. I think that they are really there just as a propaganda piece, because the Ellisons are there to be... They are big supporters of Israel, and what they've basically said... I know this is going to sound political, but it is true. They've got big political ambitions in all of this. Don't think this is just business. What they have done is they have actually bought TikTok, and they are the ones that are going to be allowing Israel to come in and basically like monitor TikTok and basically fill it with Israeli propaganda and take away the people talking about support of Palestine. That's what they're going to do, and I know they're going to do that because the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Milakowski Netanyahu, he said that they are going to buy TikTok. And then who bought TikTok? The Ellisons did. They also said that they want to make propaganda films. And what are the Ellisons trying to buy now? Warner Brothers. So if you watched James Gunn's Superman movie and you liked the message that he put in there of show everyone kindness and how he was against a genocide of certain people, the Ellisons are going to come in and they are going to tell James Gunn to change that we don't want that message in there. So if they get hold of Warner Brothers, it's not going to be good. You're going to have a Superman that is probably going to be less like what James Gunn made him, more hopeful, and probably will be more of the opposite of what we've seen. He's not going to be as compassionate. So I think that is a big problem. And yeah, Big Bash mentioned the South Park when they referenced Netanyahu and what he was doing. So even South Park is aware, and they're calling him out on it. So yeah, this is a big ploy. This is not just being done for business. This is also being done for control over people. And if you go and watch, what that Netanyahu said, and then you look at what the Ellisons are doing, they are basically carrying out his bidding, essentially. He says we're going to buy TikTok, and we're going to take control over TikTok. And who bought it? They did. He says we're also going to make propaganda films. Now, what are the Ellisons trying to do? They're trying to buy Warner Brothers with all these big IPs. So that's why I would much prefer Netflix having control of Warner Brothers, because I think they will allow the creativity to flow as it is, whereas the Ellisons coming in, who are going to buy Warner Brothers, they are just going to turn it into a propaganda piece. And because they make so much money, I don't think they'll care if Warner Brothers loses money, so long as they do their whole propaganda thing. And I think it's going to come back to bite them on the butt, but there you go. That's my answer. Both on the creative level and the political level, I think it'd be better if Netflix got it, because they don't want people like mass cancelling, which is why they said no to that Israeli propaganda film that Israel wanted them to air. They said no to it because they knew people were going to mass cancel their Netflix accounts. So I would rather have Warner Brothers go to Netflix than Paramount. I really hope Paramount doesn't get it, but sadly it looks like Paramount are going to get it, because they really do seem to be dead set on it. Alright then, so 10 Rex says it's a great year for Stephen King fans. It sure is. Plus, I hope the Carrieverse... Speaking of Stephen King, I hope you guys watched my Carrieverse video and really enjoyed it, because like I said, it's my favourite Versus video, and I spent so much time making it, over a month. Oh wow, Electrify... I was about to get to the stories, and Electrify did another super chat. Oh, thanks very much for that, Electrify. He says, I would like Apple to buy Warner Brothers and not a major studio, because it will just do harm to Hollywood. That's true, but I wonder how much money Apple are going to want to spend on these, because if you look at it, they are kind of struggling already in their technology division due to their debacle with AI. So I wonder if they're going to even want to spend time in the movie division. Because I think already as it is, they might want to slowly step out. I don't know if they'll want to step deeper into the movie division. However, as all studios know, AI is the next big thing. Sorry, IP is the next big thing. So maybe if they want to get more IPs, that's why they could buy Warner Brothers, because they have tons of IPs. So yeah, I think Apple would be another good example of someone taking over compared to Paramount. But yeah, only time will tell. I bet you by the end of the year we will get an answer as to who buys Warner Brothers. I would love to see Universal to buy Warner Brothers as Fireboy. Yeah, Universal will be cool, except Universal are terrible when it comes to copyright claims, so that means the Warner Brothers reviews will also get more copyright claims now, which will not be a good thing. But we'll see what happens. At least Disney's not buying Warner Brothers, says Jacinda. Hi, Jacinda, by the way. Yeah, Disney are not going to buy Warner Brothers because they have their own, like, Disney characters to worry about. The last thing they need is another bunch of characters. It's clear that the Fox characters that they bought are not making them the kind of money that they want. Just look at the Fantastic Four. And X-Men, they haven't even gotten that off the ground, but people are really curious about how Marvel are going to mess the X-Men up, so it's not looking good for them with the properties they already have. I doubt the next thing they're going to want to do is get more IPs to have to manage when they can't even manage the ones they have. So I don't think I don't think Disney are going to want to buy Warner Brothers for that very reason. Electrify, I don't think it will. He says, I would not like Netflix to buy Warner Brothers because it will spell out the death of movie theaters. I don't think it will. Netflix buying it, I think that will, if anything, give them more of a direct connection to the theaters. So I think they'll try to send more movies to the theaters using their Warner Brothers division. That's what I think they'll do. But at the same time, yes, they would try to benefit by taking some of those Warner Brothers properties and bringing them over to Netflix. But I think they would want to try to capitalize on the theater experience with Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers, like I said, have huge IPs. So I think they would try to have more access to the theaters for special event type filmmaking. Especially when you take into account what K-pop Demon Hunters has done for them and how they keep sending that back to the theaters. So I think they would want to try to capitalize on that more, personally. Oh, I Hear Anime says Carrie, the 70s Carrie movie, which was 1976, is re-released in its theaters. Oh, nice. Yeah, Hui, I don't think that's the Snyderverse thing will be anything to worry about. I don't think that I don't think Netflix would bring back the Snyderverse, even if they did get Warner Brothers. So yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem. Speaking of the Snyderverse, it's time to get to the stories. Now, here we go right here. James Gunn has basically flat out said that Darkseid will not be the villain in his overall DC universe. Now, a lot of people have been wondering about this. They've been thinking, will Darkseid be the main villain in James Gunn's universe? And it seems like we've now got our answer. He won't be. And James Gunn has actually, it was in a video interview when he said this, but I've actually got the transcript here of what he said. And what James Gunn said was this. He goes, first of all, there's Kirby's whole world, which he created, which is totally fascinating, the comic book writer. And he said, so that's a huge part of it. It's the new gods in general that is to me, so interesting, which we're dealing with Mr. Miracle. And I have the screenplay that I haven't read yet on my shelf right now. So there's that aspect of it. And then there are aspects of Darkseid in Thanos, who are obviously very similar. They look very similar, and because of that, to give you probably more of an answer than you expected, using Darkseid as the big bad right now is not necessarily the thing, for a lot of reasons, because Zack did it so cool in his way, and because of Thanos in Marvel. So there you have it. Basically, because of Thanos in the MCU being the big bad and trying to kill all the superheroes and like so much of the population of the universe, that is one of the big reasons why James Gunn does not want to bring Darkseid into the DCU. He also doesn't want to bring him into the DCU because Zack Snyder did it, and people, I think, are going to be looking to that, and they're going to be missing that. And I think he doesn't want to get mixed up with all of that, so I can see those are two good reasons why you wouldn't want to bring Darkseid into the universe right now. Probably Darkseid would be cool as the next big bad for the universe moving forward, but probably not this big bad. I think he could potentially also be the third big bad for the universe, you know, so we'll have to wait and see. Only time will tell. But I can see why James Gunn would not want Darkseid to be in his universe yet, because Zack Snyder has got such a big thumbprint on Darkseid right now, at least in live action, and the Snyder fans are really going to have a field day if they find out James Gunn is making a Justice League movie with Darkseid in it. I don't think that's the sole reason why he's saying no, but I can see why he says it's not the right time. I think Darkseid is something that they should have done if they were going to do it. It's something they should have done back when, you know, the Infinity War and Endgame movies were coming out. It's something that they should have done in that era of comic book movies. But to do it now, I think is kind of a dated storyline. So I think he wants to move on to a different storyline. So I can understand why James Gunn doesn't want to do this particularly, but wants to do something else. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that James Gunn is wrong, that he should bring Darkseid in? Or do you agree that Darkseid is kind of like an older version of what superhero movies would build up to, whereas we should probably move on to something a little bit more new, and then maybe circle around to Darkseid later on down the line? Let me know what you think. I'd be curious to know. Khan says, honestly, I'm okay if he doesn't bring him in. Maybe he can save them up for later. Yeah, he totally could save them up for later. That's what I said when I said I wouldn't mind if he comes in and is like the second villain or the third villain, you know, in this overall universe, in like the second or third phase of the DCU. I don't think he needs to be in the DCU right now with phase 1, but maybe the second or third phase. Who could be the big bad then, said I Hate Anime. Well, if you watch, I think it was Justice League The New Frontier, there was this big alien-like creature which was like the big bad in that movie, and I think James Gunn said that he took inspiration from that comic. And if you look at the kind of thing he does, he's very much into aliens and things. Just look at Suicide Squad, look at Peacemaker, heck, the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's very much into like aliens being the big threat. So I think he would go for something like that. So watch Justice League, I think it was The New Frontier, that animated movie, and you'll find out what James Gunn will probably build up to. And I think in the Lanterns show, that's where we're going to see like the beginnings of those enemies kind of like surface and show themselves, that they've always been here and that they've always been kind of like building up to some kind of like world-ending threat. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think James Gunn is really going to try to build up to that kind of an event, and I think we're going to start to see the first signs of this overall kind of like plan of his come into effect with the new Green Lantern show coming out. So that's what I think. I think that Lanterns show is going to be the start, the beginning of whatever his big threat is going to be at the end of his first phase in the DCU. Hunter says, I really wanted to see Superman versus Darkseid on film and on the big screen. Yeah, that would have been cool if we could see Superman fight Darkseid, particularly in Zack Snyder's universe. That would have been really fun to see, but we're still far away from that. If you want to watch a really good Superman and Darkseid battle, then watch the Superman Batman Apocalypse movie, and in the final action sequence on the Kent farm, you see both Superman and Supergirl fight Darkseid, and Superman in particular really lets it rip on Darkseid, and he beats the ever-living daylights out of him. So I'd recommend you watch that, because that was that was quite insane if you check that out, what he does in that. Mr. Go Animator says DCU shouldn't copy the MCU. Let them go a different direction. I agree. They should go a different direction. Let's just hope they go in a good direction. That's what I hope. Hunter Johnson says, I've seen that movie. Yeah, the movie was alright to me, but that final action sequence was amazing. Hui says, I think that with Salvation and the leaks on the prosthetics for the villain in Man of Tomorrow, the big bad might be Mongol and Warlord. What if Salvation was a training ground? Could be. We'll have to wait and see what they do with that Salvation, because they just threw it at us at the last second in Peacemaker Season 2. So we'll have to wait and see. Don't worry about your autocorrect, Mr. Go Animator. That's okay. Electrify says, I see your opinion on Netflix buying Warner Brothers, but Apple might keep the creative leadership on Warner Brothers, and they have worked on F1, so that's why I want Apple to buy Warner Brothers. Yeah, like I said, that is another good example. Apple buying Warner Brothers would also be a great thing compared to Paramount buying it. But yeah, I would say Netflix or Paramount. Sorry, Netflix or Apple. I would like it to be either of the two. The G Gamer says the scariest villain of the James Gunn universe is Paramount. Lol. Yep, indeed. It's they are definitely going to be the scariest. We'll have to wait and see what they do, because if they want to fire James Gunn, they can. Sad, which is sad, but that's what will happen. If they want it to. Big Bash, the Superman vs. Darkseid and Justice League Unlimited was so epic. I can't remember that fight. I gotta watch it again. I haven't seen Justice League Unlimited, at least the whole season, the whole couple of seasons in years since I was a kid. What is your favourite MCU movie from Phase 1, 2, and 3? Phase 1, my favourite movie was the first Iron Man. Phase 2, my favourite movie is The Winter Soldier. And Phase 3, it was probably Infinity War, which I think was the best one. Mr. Go Animate says, Eric, I think Bane should come back on the big screen. It's been like 13 years since we last saw Bane. Yeah, I think it would be cool to see Bane again, but like a more true comic accurate version of it. Wasn't there a rumoured movie of Deathstroke and Bane happening that James Gunn was talking about? If so, I think you might get Bane sooner than you think. Dark Lord says Superman the Animated Series had a fantastic final battle between Supes and Darkseid. Yeah, I need to still watch the rest of the Superman Animated Series. I've gone part way through Season 1, then I took a huge pause. Then I went part through Season 1 again, then I took another huge pause. But when I went through it the second time, I saw the episode with Lobo, which was really cool. I think Jason Momoa will do a great job as Lobo. Because if you watch that episode of Superman where Lobo shows up and how he tries to flirt with Lois and all of that, I think Jason Momoa will do a great job with that. And I really hope we do see Superman cross over with Lobo at some point. That'll be fun. Angel Cruz says, would it be difficult to rank your top 10 MCU movies for you, Eric? Honestly, I think it would be, but I don't think it would be as difficult. I think I probably could like do a top 10 of MCU movies. I might do it at some point. Just wait and I'll eventually get to it. Dark Lord says, you'll love the final battle. It has serious importance to the Justice League animated series. Oh, cool. You make me want to go watch it right now. Imagine Elon Musk buying Warner Brothers. Ugh. Yeah, I would hope not. Big Bash says, I want to see a good adaptation of Mr. Freeze. It's been too long. We might get it with Matt Reeves in the next Batman movie, because he did say that he had interest in Mr. Freeze, and the Penguin show ended with it becoming Christmas, essentially, with it started to snow. So Christmas is not far off, and Mr. Freeze in that would actually make sense. So we'll see what Matt Reeves does. I hope he does a great job, because I have trust in Matt Reeves, and I really hope he gets this next movie right. We've waited a long time for it, and we're still going to have to wait a long time, and I hope he really knocks it out of the park. Colin Farrell has been the one speaking the most about the Batman Part 2 right now. He even let slip recently that the Batman Part 2 takes place a few weeks after the first Batman. Sorry, after the Penguin. So, yeah, I think he said nothing but positive things about it, and I'm curious to see. He also said he's got even less screen time in this movie than the first Batman film, so I don't know. I hope that Matt Reeves eventually finds a way of bringing the Penguin more into the forefront, so Batman can beat the shit out of him for what he did to Vic. Garrett Murphy says, do you still love the Batman? Yes, I still do love the Batman. The Batman is still an amazing movie to me. Alex Narnia of Aslan says, Eric, what is going on? It's going great. How about yourself? Jacinda says, I wouldn't be surprised if Elon Musk bought Warner Brothers. I mean, who else felt like he was the inspiration to Lex Jr.? Well, him and his boyfriend, Donald Trump, seem to have had a falling out, so I don't see why he would buy it unless it was for Donald Trump, but it looks like he's not got... yeah, they both are not they're not besties anymore like they first appeared to be, so I don't see... The thing is, I don't know why Musk would even want to buy a movie studio. That seems completely irrelevant and pointless for him. Unless he's buying it for someone else, but I don't see why he would want to. I think he wants to stay away from all that drama right now, because it's not been good for his business or his stocks. Imagine if Mr. Beast bought Warner Brothers, says the G Gamer. Yeah. I don't want to imagine that. All Musk would do is promote those ugly cyber trucks. Jess says, I only been talking about Beyond the Spider-Verse instead of the Batman because that film is getting more hype and I want to see how Miles' story concludes. Well, we'll have to wait and see, and the only reason it's getting more hype is because it's coming out next year. The Batman Part 2 is going to still take 2 years. But I think at least in the circles I've been in, there's been more hype for the Batman Part 2. More people talking about that, at least from what I've seen. Alexandria of Aslan says, Eric, why is everyone upset about The Witcher? What did Netflix mess up with that? What went wrong? Long story short, basically people are pissed off with it because it does not follow the source material. The writers are making their own liberties, and apparently behind the scenes they were even insulting the source material, and that's never good when you take a really beloved source material and the people adapting it don't even like it. That's never a good thing. In fact, I think we're getting some of that as well in the new Harry Potter HBO show. Apparently they're going to be writing scenes that were not even in the books, even though the whole promise of the Harry Potter HBO show is that they were going to very accurately adapt the books. But now they're not going to. So it's like they're going to be adding their own stuff. And one of the writers has not even read all the Harry Potter books. So it's like... That's what people don't like, is the lack of respect for the beloved source material. And that's the problem with The Witcher show on Netflix. It stopped respecting the original source material, and Henry Cavill is a fan of the source material, and he didn't like that they were going against it. And because of that, they were not being very nice to Henry Cavill, and ultimately he just ended up leaving. So that's why people are pissed off about it. Super Michael has done a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, buddy. He says, I just joined late. Darkseid is not the villain. Yeah, Darkseid is not the villain. James Gunn has made that clear. Here's his quote right here. He's basically said it's not going to happen. He ultimately cited that it's going to be for two reasons. One is that Zack Snyder did it incredibly well, and the other is that Darkseid is very similar to Thanos. Particularly that storyline of all the heroes going up against him and losing and all that kind of stuff. So I think he's going to try to go for something a bit more different. So ultimately that's what's happening. So has anyone else got any more questions about this particular topic before we move on to another one? To the next one, I should say. Khan says, how would you feel if the Legion of Doom were the big bad of the DC universe? I would not particularly like it. The Legion of Doom, they feel a bit like they're kind of like a Guardians of Galaxy in a way. Like they're their own kind of like random hodgepodge of villains just teaming up together. I think that they are not good enough for a main villain. I would rather have a bigger villain or something. But we'll have to see. Thing is, if they do it, they got to do them well. But I can see James Gunn turning them all into a lot like comedic characters. Plus, the Legion of Doom are villains that are from our main heroes, like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all of them, and they team up. So you've got to establish them first, and then have them meet before you can have them all team up. If they just teamed up without any build-up or connection to our other heroes, that would not be a good thing. Angel Cruz says, "Good for me that Darkseid isn't the villain. Make a good villain for the DCU." Okay, so Angel Cruz says it was good for them. I would love to see a Legion of Doom villain team up against the Justice League, said Fireboy. Okay, that's fair enough. Big Bash says it. No, that's not Big Bash. Deadwolf is here, says, imagine if Kite Man is the big bad of the DCU. Yeah, Kite Man and Condiment King. Imagine if they were both the big bads of the DCU. It'd be over just like that. Alright then, so with that said, it's time to move on to the second story. And this one kind of irritated me, and I think it will irritate a lot of you as well. The next story is Predator Badlands is confirmed to be rated PG-13 rather than R, but it will still be as violent as possible. Oh, shut up. I hate when these producers and stuff, they insult your intelligence by saying the movie's PG-13, but it will be as violent as it can be. It's like, no it can't. Like, if you want it to be as violent as it can be, make it rated R. Don't make it PG-13. This is the first time a standalone Predator movie was PG-13. Now, the first Alien vs. Predator movie was PG-13, but at least here in the UK, it was given a 15. So it was more of an edgy PG-13 is what it was. But the problem with this particular Predator movie is that in the UK, we have a 15 rating. Now, this is the 15 rating. This is our light rated R, basically. Sometimes you can get very violent movies in this 15 rating. Then you can get less violent movies in here. The first Alien vs. Predator was 15, for example. But also, Logan was rated 15, so was Deadpool. So there's like a wide range in our 15 rating, which is basically our R rating in terms of what can be rated R and what isn't. What is 15 and what isn't. But Predator Badlands falls slap dab right into our PG-13 rating, which is 12A. Now, 12A is for those of you that have the American rating system, 12A is the most generic and bland PG-13 rating you can get. It is not a hard PG-13 like what this producer is trying to get you to believe. Because if you read this here, he says here, if you read this caption, the reasoning behind this has been explained by the film's producer, Ben Rosenblatt. He says, our hope is that it can be a PG-13 that feels like an R. We don't have any humans in the movie, and so we don't have any human red blood. That is a lie, because if you watch the trailer, there are humans in the movie, and we could have got some bloody results with them, but it seems like we're not going to, because it's PG-13. So when he goes there, we don't have any humans in the movie, that's a lie. We're going to go as hard as we possibly can within those constraints. And that right there, he said two things that are very opposed to each other. How can you go as hard as you possibly can within those constraints? It means you can't really go that hard at all. So when he says we can go as hard as we can, come on, you're not really going that hard. The 12 rating in the UK is a very specific way of telling us what kind of PG-13 rating we're dealing with. And we're dealing with a PG-13 rating that is just kind of like on the same level as all these Marvel movies and all these, like, you know, other 12 rated movies these days. Your generic PG-13, basically. The only time a PG-13 has a 12 rating here has been pushed is with movies like The Dark Knight, but that doesn't happen very often. So I think what they've done here is just, this feels like something that Disney has done. Like, they own the Predator IP once they acquired 20th Century Fox, and now they're trying to release a movie in theaters, and they want to make as much money as they can, so they said make it PG-13. And that is something which is, quite frankly, the thing that we feared would happen if Disney did buy these IPs. And sadly they have, and Predator is the first one that looks like it's going to experience the heat of Disney buying this studio. So I'm going to review this movie when it comes out. I'll watch it when it comes out this month, and then I'll review it and I'll report back to you and let you know if the movie really does push its PG-13 rating, which I doubt it will, or if it's just Disney's way of trying to get extra ticket sales at the box office and have kids watch this film. I mean, if you just read what our 12A rating says, it's rated 12A for moderate violence, threat, and injury detail. That kind of talk for a 12 rating means that there is no blood, and that what you're going to see is going to be just generic stuff you see in a PG-13 movie. So, yeah, I think this is a big fail, and it's one of the things that we feared would happen the most when Disney bought these IPs. Asleep is here, says, hello everyone, sorry I haven't been in chat for a long while. I'm just so glad you're here now, buddy. Thanks for joining so much, I really appreciate that. Oh, I don't know any kid that wants to see a Predator movie, says 10 Rex. Yeah, exactly. It's, well, a kid would want to see Predator, but I think nowadays kids would be shown Predator. And then for them to see the non-bloody version, I think that's not going to be something they'll like. So, yeah, making it PG-13 was not a good choice, and I think they're going to get some blowback for that. G-Gamer is in here, and I've just got... G-Gamer, I just got your message over on Discord. Thank you very much for that. G-Gamer said that the Megamind 2 review that he commissioned, that he's willing to let me put it on hold for a few months so I can work on the rest of my videos. Buddy, I really, really appreciate that. Although, when I was planning all my commission videos recently, I was also planning Megamind, so don't you worry. I will definitely get round to it, and thank you for giving me the extra time. I really do appreciate that. In the meantime, I'll definitely be sure to give you your commissions as well for Zootopia Plus and any other future commissions that you want to do. I'll be sure to give you those, but thank you, buddy, for that. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy the Megamind 2 review when it does come. I definitely am going to still make it for you, of course. We got Spirit Hero here, being the hero that he is, has given a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, buddy. You guys are being very generous with the super chats today. I really am thankful for that. I really do appreciate it. Spirit Hero says, J.R.R. Tolkien actually hated Disney. He called it childish and it ruined everything it touched. And this was in the early days. Well, if only he saw what Disney are now, I think he would probably double, triple, quadruple down on what he just said. Because, yeah, he very much is... basically, that description is 100% accurate for what Disney is today. It's kind of ironic, actually. Joshman55 says, Predator should have never been PG-13. It should have always stayed as an R-rated franchise. I 100% agree. But Disney doesn't, apparently. Oh, Logan, thanks for joining the stream, bud. It's great to see you again. The Dark Lord says, I'm sorry, guys, I'm just heavily allergic to bullshit. If they really don't want to make it rated R, I can make their lives rated R. Oh, I'd love to see that. Electrify says, I call Disney the corporate Disney. Well, that is definitely true. Asleep says, Alien vs. Predator being PG-13 should be a considered factor in this decision from Disney. It should, But at the same time, these Predator movies should be cheaper movies to make, so I'm surprised that they're not saying, okay, make it rated R. I would certainly hope there's an R-rated version that comes out on, like, you know, Blu-ray and DVD or something. But it's Disney, I doubt they will have that, that they will do that, which is a shame. Exactly, Big Bash, I agree. He says, if you say it'll be violent despite being PG-13, then just make it rated R. It's so dumb. Yeah, exactly. If it's going to be so violent, make it rated R. If your only reason you're making it PG-13 is because you don't want it to be so violent. This reminds me of when they made Expendables 3 PG-13 to get a bigger audience in. But then when they looked at the age demographics for the Expendables 3, it turned out more adults went to go watch the film that were over the age of 18. So technically, the younger audience never showed up for the PG-13 Expendables, but the R-rated audience showed up, and they got no R rating. So yeah, it was not good what they did to, you know, with Expendables 3, and it's not good what they're doing here. Goat says kids would run away from predators in real life. They sure as heck would. And quite frankly, I would as well. I don't know who wouldn't run away from a predator. Anime, that is right. They made Expendables 4 rated R again. And the reason they made Expendables 4 rated R again is because they realized that they were not appealing to any newer audience. The grown-up audience, the adult audience, were the ones that were watching the Expendables to begin with, and they did not bring in a newer, younger audience at all. So they went back to their R-rated roots because that's the people that are watching this franchise. Joshman says, at least the Rambo franchise stayed as an R-rated franchise, but it's so stupid that they did that with Terminator, RoboCop, and Expendables. I know, and Total Recall. Don't forget that. They made Total Recall PG-13 as well, and we all know how that turned out. But I will say, though, Total Recall was actually, I'd say, one of their good remakes. I actually liked that. But I didn't even bother with RoboCop when I heard that was PG-13. So, yeah. Angel Cruz says, in the trailer, it seems they are androids. It seems that the producers made that choice. Are they androids? Oh my god, that makes it kind of worse. That shows you that they could have been humans, but they made the humans androids just so the film would be PG-13. That is lame, that is. Khan says, this is just proof that not everything needs to be PG-13. Leave it as it is. Agreed, but sadly it's Disney. And with the day and age we are in with streaming right now, and how theaters are worried that their movies are not going to make a return on profit, I think they're trying to expand and maximize their returns, and part of the way of doing that is making the movie PG-13. Even though Disney have seen with Deadpool and Wolverine, they can make over $1 billion with an R-rated movie, so that excuse is not really flying anymore these days. If anything, making a movie PG-13 was going to give grounds to people to say, I don't want to go see it, rather than saying, I want to see it. Joshman says, at least Alien is still R-rated, but I feel like Disney is going to tone down Alien by making it PG-13, and I guarantee it's going to happen, and it's going to be Disneyfied, which I don't like. Yeah, none of us like that it's going to be Disneyfied. That really is bad. Whew. Hey, I want to see Predator Badlands. What if it is really good, says Huey Toonmore. Well, I'm going to review Predator Badlands, and if it is very good, I'll be sure to let you guys know. One thing that you guys always know about me is I'm incredibly honest with you guys, and I don't sugarcoat anything. So I'll be sure to let you guys know that in that review, the Predator rating, the PG-13 rating, will be part of the focal point of that review, because that is an important thing to mention. And I'll be fair with the story and everything, but I'll be talking about that PG-13 rating. Joshman says, I am not seeing Predator Badlands. I was not really excited to begin with, but at least Predator Killer of Killers did utilize its R rating for an animated feature. Yeah, and Predator Killer of Killers was actually a good movie, especially the section in Japan with the ninjas. That was really, really cool, that was. That was genuinely awesome. Anime says, I'm going to watch it on Friday so I can talk about it on Sunday. Yeah, it's coming out this week, isn't it? So, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe to the channel if anyone here has not subscribed, so you'll be notified when I get my review out. I'll try to watch it this week, and I'll let you guys review it for you guys. I also have to watch the second episode of It, the Welcome to Derry show. I've already seen the first episode. I'm going to watch the second episode. Now I'll try to review both those episodes for you guys in one video. Oh, thank you, Big Bash. I appreciate that. That's why I do what I do. You guys expect me to be honest, and I am always going to be honest. Electrify is going to watch the weekend as well. So you guys will be able to watch the movie, then see my review. Oh, Spirit Hero says, I have to go now, unfortunately. I'll see you all later. Okay, take care, Spirit Hero. I'm sorry you couldn't be here for the rest of the stream, but I really appreciate you dropping by, bud. And thanks for your super chats. I really appreciate those as well. Khan says, hey Eric, what are your overall thoughts about the Predator franchise and how would you rank them? How would I rank them? Well, of course I love the first one, then I'd say the third one, then the second one, and then I would say Prey, that Prey movie, and then I would say The Predators, which I did a versus video of Predators, and you guys know how much I was not a fan of that movie. So yeah, but like I said, PG-13, 12 rated Predator, that is not a good sign. This reeks of Disney and them trying to capitalize on these brands, even though they clearly don't understand it. They don't understand that Predator is supposed to be rated R, and only time will tell if that will backfire on them or if it works. And if it works, they're going to be making more PG-13 Predators, which is just something I am not excited about at all. Khan is right. He says, truly reeks of a corporate move by Disney. It really does. So, yeah. Alright, have you guys got anything else to say about this before we move on to our next story about Scream 7? Edward says, Eric, are you a fan of the X-Men animated series? Yes, I am. Sorry, the X-Men animated series? Sorry, I'm watching the X-Men Evolution series. I'm trying to get through that. I think I'm through season 1, or am I in season 2 now? I gotta double check. I think I'm in season 2, the finale. But no, the X-Men original series, I only got to see like a couple episodes when I was a kid, but then they just took it off air and it didn't come on again, which was bizarre. So no, I never got to watch the X-Men series, but I will try to watch. I am watching the X-Men Evolution series though. So yeah. The Dark Lord says, South Park, Mickey is back, I guess, from vacation. Well, I gotta watch that new South Park episode too, man. A lot of this stuff is coming out, and I'm just still too busy to watch them. The adults need entertainment as well. Not everything needs to appeal to kids. Exactly, not everything needs to appeal to kids. But it's Disney, isn't it? We knew this would potentially happen if they buy these adult properties, and this is what they're doing, even though, like I said, it was Deadpool Wolverine made over $1 billion. That should be a clear indicator to Disney that people want things that are more mature. Anyway, with that said, let's move on to Scream 7. The trailer for this just came out recently. Normally I do trailer reactions on my Patreon, but I didn't do a trailer reaction this time. I just gave it a watch and I thought, let's take a look. And I will say, this movie is, from the trailer, is very different from all the previous films. Rather than Ghostface coming after his victims in the typical Ghostface way, now what he is doing is going on the offensive, is what it seems like. And he's going after Sydney, he's going after her daughter Tatum, which she named her daughter Tatum after her best friend, Dewey's sister, in the first movie. So that's interesting. Her father, the father of her, well, her husband was supposed to be Mark, the the police officer from the third movie. But that actor, they didn't pay him the money that he wanted, so now they're switching him out for just a no-name Mark, which is unfortunate. But yeah, so he's showing up. So Ghostface is showing up, and he's trying to come after Sidney. Now, I'm gonna say, we all know the controversy, by the way, that what they did when they fired Melissa Barrera, and then because of that, Jenna Ortega left. I always prefer Sidney as a character. Of course, she's the OG. But I thought it was a big problem that they killed off Dewey. You guys know I did not like when they killed off Dewey, and honestly, I feel like that is what ultimately was the thing that really did kill this trailer when I was watching it. They killed off Dewey in the 5th movie, and now when they're trying to show all the characters back together, the gang is back together, it just didn't have an impact. Honestly, when that happened, I actually felt like something feels empty. And what feels empty is that Gale, when she showed up in the trailer, I got a little irritated. The reason why is because when I saw her, I was like, I feel nothing. The only reason you cared about Gale in this franchise is because she had a relationship with Dewey. But now that Dewey is gone, Gale never had a relationship with Sidney. In the first 2 movies, she was hostile with Sidney. In the 3rd movie, she was semi-friendly in like 2 scenes they had together. I think it may have only been 1 scene, actually. Then the 4th movie, they had 1 scene together. But the person that she had a constant relationship with, Sidney, that is, was Dewey. Dewey was always the person that would come to see Sidney. In the 1st movie, he was friends with her. In the 2nd movie, he was friends with her as well. And he actually came to see if she was okay when the new Ghostface killer showed up. And then we had Scream 3, where, again, he was trying to go find her. And he was calling her to ask her if she's okay. And then we had the 4th movie, where, again, when he saw her, Sidney goes over to hug Dewey, and she's very happy to see him. And then when they had a case going on where they were trying to investigate Ghostface, so they weren't able to give their hellos and everything right in that moment. But then they did later on, and they have a genuinely good chemistry and friendship together. So, and in Scream 5, when Ghostface comes back, who's the first person that Dewey calls? Sidney. So Dewey and Sidney always had a good relationship, a good friendship together, and that was always the fun of those two. But now that they've killed Dewey and Gale is here, I'm like, what are you going to do with Gale? You can't do nothing with Gale. Gale is so boring on her own. So it really, really bothers me that they killed off Dewey in exchange for Gale when Gale has little to no chemistry with Sidney. It's like they have to build this up from ground 1 with her, and they didn't really do much with their relationship in the 5th movie. If anything, Gale very quickly forgot about Dewey, whereas if Gale died in the 5th movie, Dewey would have constantly remembered about Gale, and that would have been on his mind the whole time. He would have tried to get revenge for her. And then in the 6th movie, he would still be upset about her. But what did Gale do in Scream 6? She had a fuck buddy instead. And it's like she forgot all about Dewey. So, I do not like what they did by killing off Dewey, and by killing him off, the chemistry in that relationship is now gone. Dewey was the person that would always connect the relationship between himself, Gale, and Sidney. But now that Dewey is gone, you got these 2 loose threads right here, and Sidney and Gale, they have no chemistry together that is anywhere near the chemistry they had with Dewey. And killing him off, I already didn't like it in Scream 5 when they killed him off they killed him off like he was last week's trash, and them killing him off has only come back to bite them on the arse with this later, and killing him off has only come back to really hurt them in this later movie here. So I think what they've done has actually come back to really bite them on the butt, and Dewey's absence really did make this trailer for this new Scream movie just feel infinitely less exciting to not have him in the movie. So I think that was a very, very bad choice. And that's not even counting the bad choice of when they just fired Melissa Barrera. So yeah, that's what I think. Now there's a couple of intriguing things that are going to happen. This scene in the trailer was actually kind of cool. Yeah, it's not just about the killings, it's also about the characters, and Scream had a great trio. The least interesting character of that trio was Gale. The most interesting was Sidney, and the best one, the fun one, was Dewey. And taking Dewey out and leaving Sidney with boring Gale, quite frankly, is just it does not. It's not a good pairing to me, quite frankly. David Arquette is rumored to appear in the movie, but I don't know to what extent. And if he's not alive, then quite frankly, it's not good enough. I think they need to bring him back to life. They bring a lot of other characters back to life. That black guy in Scream 5 and 6, he got stabbed like crazy and still survived. So if they could come back, find a way to bring Dewey back to life, I would say great. But it doesn't look like they're doing that. They didn't even hint towards it. If anything, they're bringing Stu back, but they're not bringing Dewey back. I really wish they brought Dewey back and said he was alive. That's the only thing I would. That's the only thing that would fix this for me. This problem. So, what do you guys think about this Scream trailer? Were any of you interested in this, or did you get put off by it as well? Sound off in the comments below what you thought. Dead Wolf, that's you troll. Dead Wolf says he could be back as a ghost. No way, no way. Angel says Dewey's voice can be heard. Well, let's hope so. Scream 7 is going to have McKenna Grace, says Jess, and she has been all over the place when she is cast in movies. Recently, she was in a romance movie. I said the exact same thing to my brother recently, because not only was she in that, she's in that romance movie that's been advertised everywhere, and it didn't even do well at the box office. I think it was called Remember Me. That did not do well at the box office. Or Regretting You, that was it, Regretting You. The studio sure as hell is regretting this movie. But yeah, she was in Regretting You. She was also in this upcoming Scream movie. She's also in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that is coming out. And I swear she was in another movie recently where she popped up. She is in so much of these films, and she's also in the upcoming Hunger Games movie. She's just like, almost like she's spamming herself in all these movies. In fact, she wasn't even supposed to be in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, but she said that she really insisted that she get a role in that. And I mean, I commend her persistence, but she's really overexposed, and every time I see her on screen, in fact, when me and my brother watched Shelby Oaks yesterday, or was the day before yesterday, we saw the trailer for, they advertised Regretting You, and then the very next thing that showed up was the trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and she showed up there, and I looked at my brother, who before says, I don't think she's everywhere. I looked at my brother, and he started smiling. Even he was like, yeah, she's all over the place. So, yeah, that McKenna Grace, I don't know why. There's just too much of her. They really need to find a way to slow it down. Ten Rex says there's a Scream 7? What? How did I not know? How did I not hear about that? Yeah, there is a Scream 7, which is coming out. Yeah, it looks like it's going for a different thing, but there's something a bit boring about it. And like I said, I think it's because Dewey is not here. They're hinting that Stu will come back, and that's not particularly good. Big Bash, I did know Chris Stuckman directed Shelby Oaks. That's the only reason I went to go see it in theaters. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have watched it until it came out on streaming. Or I probably wouldn't have watched it at all. So that's the reason I did it. I knew Dewey is dead when I found out on Letterboxd that Dewey's actor isn't in Scream 6 and I'm on Scream 4. Yeah, it really is a shame what they did. It was pathetic. I also talked about it in one of my previous videos as well. In one of my other, was it my Scream Versus video? I talked about it. And I think there was another video I talked about it too. So I think it was the video when I talked about, was it the Batman being killed in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, the video game? I think I talked about Dewey's death in there as well, and other male characters that were just being killed off like last week's garbage. I talked about it there. I don't watch Scream films as it is, so I don't have much reaction, says the Dark Lord. Well, you should watch the first one. The first one's great. If you were to say, what Halloween movie should I watch? I'd say watch that first Scream movie. It's amazing. Has one of the best openings in all of horror films. Probably the best, actually. Electrify says this movie just reeks of damage control, in my opinion, and just having the twins just as bad. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised those twins even showed up in this, and I bloody well hope they kill that guy, the black guy, because he's probably the luckiest person in all these Scream movies. He must have superpowers, because there is no way he can survive the amount of stabs he's had. The Dark Claw says, I don't do horror films as it is. Yeah, this is actually a good one though. The Scream ones are genuinely fun. I would highly recommend that you watch them if you can, especially that first one. That's my favorite one. One of my favorite horror movies, in fact. Give me a second. Here, where are you? There you are. Just doing something on my TikTok. I forgot to put tags on this post that I did, which was unfortunate. I shouldn't have done that. Has someone done a donation? Bear with me. Let me just save this. Okay, let's see what's happened. Ethan's Drawing has done a £2.28 Streamlabs chat. Thank you very much for that. For those of you that don't know, if you donate through Streamlabs, I get 100% of the donation, and YouTube doesn't take a cut. So anytime you can do a Streamlabs donation, that is greatly appreciated. Let's see what he sent. He sent me something. I think he wants me to show a picture to you guys. So let me go to it. And let's see what picture he wants me to show. Normally it's King of the Monsters 2021 that shows me these pictures, but... Ethan's Drawing, I don't see the image. You've given me the directory path, but you've not given me a link. It says that it's in your desktop, your posters folder, then Turning Red / Teenage Kraken. But I haven't got a link to it. Or is it? It's just a description, bud. I don't see the actual link that you sent. Hey Eric, says Jess. After the stream, can we have a group chat with the others? I'm sorry we can't, because I'm going to be getting back to editing and be doing some things. So what I'll be doing is we'll be doing the Discord chat a week from now. Like I said, we'll be doing the watch party for Coraline. So if anyone wants to watch Coraline together and hear my commentary as we watch the movie, then yeah, all you gotta do is, like I said, just join my Patreon and join the Discord perk, and you'll be invited into the watch party. So, like I said, any support you can do, it really helps. I also get to speak to you guys and see you, personally, which is good. Always great. You'll be part of the Discord family, and we'll be able to, like, have a chat, like, every other week. So... And like I said, it always, all the donations, like, you know, for the perks and joining my Patreon, it really helps support the channel. So any help you guys can do in that regard is greatly appreciated. Plus, you get to be part of the Discord family, where I get to chat to you guys on the regular, even when in between the days. Like, you guys can post on my Discord and I can respond back to you. That's what I love about the Discord, is how I get to, like, have full-on interactions with you guys. And then every other week we do video chats and we do voice calls and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd highly recommend it. It's a great deal of fun, and the more people that are there, the more fun it is. So Garrett says, I hope Scream 7 doesn't end up being just nostalgia bait. That's what I hope. And I hope that if they do bring Stu back, that they don't just end up killing him like in Just Like That. And it's like, well, what's the point of him even coming back? That would not be good if they did something like that. So I hope they don't. Oh, Fireboy has to go. Take care, buddy. Thank you for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. Jess says, that spoof parody film is more entertaining than Scream 7. Well, we haven't seen Scream 7 yet, but interestingly, we are getting another Scary Movie, which is, I think, is the parody film you're referring to. So, I wonder if that new parody movie is going to have that ghost face in there again, because there's been more Scream movies since, and you can't do a Scary Movie, I think, without that Ghostface killer. That would still be funny if they come up with jokes about that. Okay, Ethan's drawing. Try again, and I'll actually, I'll have a look as soon as you do it. Good luck, bud. What's the Scary Movie franchise, says Garrett? Well, Scary Movie was actually supposed to be the original title for Scream, but I think one of the executives or the studio said, do the name Scream instead of Scary Movie, so they did Scream instead. And Scary Movie is actually a parody, which was made around the time Scream 3 came out. They did a parody of Scary Movie and other horror movies, but mainly Scream in that first movie. They did a parody of Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. I think it was I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yeah, they did. It was a combination of those two films that they parodied together and they merged them. And the film was also quite perverted as well. It was very disgusting in terms of its sexual humor. But yeah, that's what Scary Movie is. It's a parody franchise, and each film sort of like parodies different horror franchises. And they got progressively worse as they went, apparently. So yeah, Big Bash says, "Was up? Yeah, you'll get that if you've seen, you'll get that if you have seen, you'll get that if you have seen the first Scary Movie film." The Log Man, haven't seen you in a while, bud. It's great to see you. He says, "Do you have plans on doing a Stranger Things season 3 and 4 binge watch in prep for season 5? I'm sorry to say I won't, because it's coming out right around the corner. I've got other videos to make." I will say, though, I did love Stranger Things Season 3. A lot of people had issues with Stranger Things Season 3, but I really loved it. I loved the storylines, I loved the characters, I also really enjoyed the threat that season, and the production value was amazing. Season 4 is the season that I actually hated. I found it boring. They made the episodes twice as long, which was exciting at first, but then when I watched it, I was like, it feels like they're padded out. I also thought that the storylines were quite, like the multiple subplots and storylines were just not well done. The bullies getting pissed off with Dungeons and Dragons was, I thought, really tiring and just not funny. And there was a lot of stuff that Stranger Things Season 4 did that I did not like. Jonathan and his really high hippie friend, I did not like that either. I really did not like that. It was like they were trying to make it a joke, but it just wasn't funny. And Jonathan was a much more boring character. And yeah, there was plenty of things I did not like about Season 4. I hated Will and how he was just crying that whole freaking season. Huge, massive stakes are going on, and he's crying like a little girl in a little rom-com that he's in. He really bothered me in that. And also, what else? Eleven was getting bullied at school. Now, Mike and his friends, they've all been bullied at school, so you think they would understand that. But instead, what does that little sissy do, that Will? He ends up he phrases Eleven's bullying to Mike in a way that makes 11 look bad. And then Mike is even like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, this is painful to watch. She's the one that's being bullied here, and yet that little pissant right there, Will, found a way to make her seem like the one that was in the wrong when Mike showed up. Not to mention, he was just acting like a little bitch on the playground when 11 was getting bullied. For someone who's supposed to be her elder brother in a way, he was like the most bitchiest elder brother I've ever seen. And I take that kind of stuff seriously because I am an elder brother. In that situation, I would not have bitched out like he did. So yeah, I hate Will in that, and I was defending him in the first 3 seasons. But what he was doing in that, as an elder brother myself, I found absolutely deplorable. And I couldn't stand him. Anyway, sorry if that got a little bit, but you could just see I did not like Stranger Things Season 4, and I hated Will the most in that season. Electrify has done a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Electrify, for your super chats. I really greatly appreciate them. And I don't mean to sound, this is entirely up to you, I don't mean to sound like demanding or anything, but if possible, if you could do the donations through Streamlabs, that would also be appreciated, because like I said, the entire donation comes to me that way, and YouTube doesn't take a cut. But it's up to you. I just thought I'd let you know that that's the best possible way of doing it. Anyway, on with your question. He says, Electrify says, I'm excited for Scary Movie 6 because they have a lot more horror movies they could parody and more tropes they could make fun of. Well, yeah, I think it's been... How long has it been since Scary Movie 5? Was it 2013 or something? Let's take a look. Scary Movie 5... It was 2013, yeah. It's been 2013, so by the time the movie comes out, it'll have been 13 years since a Scary Movie had come out. And by that time, when Scary Movie 6 comes out, that's like 13 years worth of additional horror films and horror genres that have materialized that Scary Movie can parody. So it depends what they do, but I do hope they bring the Ghostface back, because 2 more Scream movies have come out. No, sorry, 3 more have come out since Scary Movie 6, with 4 more coming out by the time the Scary Movie 6 comes out. So I think it will be great to see them parody Scream again. That's their roots, and let's hope they do a good job with that. I really do. I really hope they do a great job. Guys, I gotta say, speaking to you like this, like every 2 weeks, I feel much more hyped. I feel like it's been longer since I've seen you, and I really do enjoy the conversation. So I think this has been a good idea. 1 week on Discord, chatting with you guys like face to face in person, and 1 week on YouTube live streams. I just feel much more energized. Like I've really wanted to talk to you guys, and now this feels like the most fun I've had with a live stream in a while. So I like this 2 weeks, this every other week, this bi-weekly live stream release schedule. What do you guys think? I hope you guys are noticing it, because I don't know, it's given me this like newfound energy, which I feel like I've lost with the live streams for a while, but now I seem to have it back. I Hate Anime says, I really enjoy it too. Khan says, I'm glad you thought so. I enjoy it, to be honest, as the G Gamer. The 2 weeks makes it feel special, says Big Bash. Oh, that's nice to hear. Eric, who's worse, Mr. Poe or Will? Mr. Poe, I would still say, is worse, but man, Will, he's kind of getting onto his own level in a way. Khan, that is a very good question. I think we'll call this the Q&A now. The Movie King 3000 says, I'm enjoying this process as well. That's great. That's fantastic. Very happy that you're enjoying this too. Jess says, Scary Movie 6 will not have the Wayne brothers. Isn't it the Wayne brothers that is actually making this 6th movie? Scary Movie 6, it is the Wayne brothers coming back. Yeah, the Wayne brothers, Marlon and Sean Wayans, are returning to the Scary Movie franchise to write and produce Scary Movie 6, which is planned for a 2025 release? That 2025 release has to be old news, because it's clearly coming out in 2026. Yeah, June the 12th. That's 2 days after my birthday. Boy. Garrett says, I enjoy talking with you and everyone in the chat. I Hate Anime says, I feel more hype for both streams and voice calls since there's a 2-week gap. Oh, cool. 10 Rex says, how are you good at ranting? Am I good at ranting? Usually I always I always feel like maybe I'm ranting and people are not interested, but so long as it's an interesting rant, I hope it's entertaining you. No, I've not watched a Minecraft movie yet. I don't think I will either. Minecraft is certainly for the people that want to see the Minecraft movie. Me, I've never been into Minecraft. To be honest, I've never really tried it either, because I was afraid it would be one of those games that would just suck up all the time in my life. And I don't want to get distracted by games that much. Games I usually play have campaigns and have story modes, so there's a beginning, middle, and end. I don't want to play games that go on for like hundreds of hours, like RPGs and things, because I don't have that kind of time to spend on games. and I want the games to kind of like just give me a story as I'm going through them. I don't want it to just distract me with a bunch of things that is not necessary, or with side quests that are meant to just prolong the story for so many hours. That's not the kind of thing I'm into. I'm not going to do the Fantastic Four Versus video because, well, I might do it at some point, but it's not on my immediate schedule right now. I was meant to get that and the Superman Versus video done around the same time, but the Superman Versus video ended up being my longest Versus video ever, and it made me pass over the Fantastic Four release window, so I don't think I will be doing that Versus video right now. I'll want to get to it eventually, but not right now. Thoughts on open world games as Big Bash? I love open world games. I always want the games to be open world if they can be. I've not seen The Long Walk yet asleep. Yeah, I've not seen it yet. Kent is here. Thank you for joining, Kent. He says, Eric will play the Lego Batman game that is going to release... Eric, will you play the Lego Batman game that's going to release in 2026? People said it's like Arkham games, but Lego. I don't think I will. Because that's kind of the problem. It's just the Arkham games, but in Lego. It's like, why not just play the Arkham games? They are going to be the better version at the end. What I will probably do is go onto YouTube and watch the Lego Batman movie. Do you know when they kind of put the game together as a movie? I'll watch that, because it looks funny. I love the humor of the Lego games. But there is no need for me to actually play the Lego game when it's just a copy and paste of the Arkham games. The Lego games usually had their own gameplay mechanics, so there was a reason to play them. But this just looks like a copy and paste, and I would much rather prefer to play the original Arkham Knight game rather than play the Lego Batman game. Rockstar games. I've not played too many of the Rockstar games, to be honest with you. I wish I could have played more, but I never got around. But I played Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories on my PSP back in the day. I played some Chinatown Wars on the DS and a bit on the PSP. I played Vice City Stories on the PSP a little bit. And I played a little bit of GTA 5 on my PS4, but just a very little, and I never played really more than that. So I can't really say Rockstar games I am a fan, because I've just never had the time to play them. I will say though that I did have, what was it? I've wanted to play the Red Dead Redemption games, and I never played Red Dead Redemption 2 because I wanted to wait for Red Dead Redemption 1, and now the game is available on PC, so when the price goes down, I'll buy it, because it is a very old game, over 10 years I think at this point, and they're charging you like full price for it, which is not worth it, so I'll wait for the price to go down, then I'll play it on my Steam Deck, which the Steam Deck is still right here. Fantastic device, the Steam Deck, my favourite console I think of all time pretty much. I've got favourite consoles out due to nostalgia, like the DS, Nintendo DS Lite and the PSP, but I don't think those are consoles that that are objectively the best anymore, but I have very fond memories and that makes them the best to me. But objectively, the Steam Deck is the best console right now. Steam Deck OLED. Big Bash says Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 are masterpieces. That's great to hear. I hope they're great when I play them. Ed, what next Versus video are you planning? I've got a couple ideas. I don't want to let you guys know. I think surprising you is probably the most fun thing to do, so I'll surprise you. I won't tell you guys from now on. Unless I'm going to do something like Zootopia, for example. I will probably tell you then, but I haven't decided yet. I've got a couple of ideas, but right now I'm exhausted. I'm really tired in terms of like making Versus videos, because the Carrie Versus video took so much out of me. Like I said, it's my favorite Versus video I've ever made, but it is the most tiring. And if you watch the Versus video, you'll know why. I actually felt like my head was going to explode by the time I finished editing it. So if you watch the video, you'll know why. And please do share it, because I've spent so much time working on this video. I would love for it to get as much views as possible. But yeah, because I've done that, I need to take a break. In fact, I was actually supposed to take a few days off after that Carrie video, but I ended up writing my script for Shelby Oaks. I'm writing my script for the first episode of Welcome to Dairy, and I've got to record and edit those tomorrow. Plus, I've got other personal things to do in my life as well, and I've got some And I've also got some sorry, some Patreon commission videos to do. Like I said, G Gamer has commissioned and requested me to react to the Zootopia Disney Plus series. And the reason why is because we did a watch party of the first Zootopia on my Discord a couple of weeks back. So yeah, I have to react to the Zootopia episodes in addition to the other stuff I've got to do. So I'm very, very busy. So I'll choose which Versus video I'm going to make soon, but I want to take a bit of a break from Versus just for a few days and get some other stuff done, then start writing my next Versus video. Oh, the G Gamer, that's so nice. He says, I hyped that carry video twice with the YouTube's hype system. Oh, that's so nice of you, because yeah, that hype system is there. I've not tried it though. So if you guys can, hype that. I don't know what the system is like, what is required of it, but if you can hype my carry versus video like as much times as you can, I'd appreciate that, because apparently that's a new thing that YouTube have done to get a video noticed. So if you can hype that video, I'd really appreciate that. Please do, because like I said, this video I had to work on this carry verse video even when I was ill. Just so much work came out of it, and I don't think I've worked this hard in such a long time. I even learned new editing techniques for this Versus video, and I referenced so much stuff like South Park, Demon Slayer, Suits, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Peacemaker Season 2, and other things as well. So just so much work went into it. So if you guys could hype it, share it, do whatever you can to get it as much views as possible, I'd really appreciate that, because that's a video that I am taking immense pride in, and I really hope people can see the work that went into it, because it was insane. Oh, I Anime, that is so nice. He goes, he just hyped it now. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Iron Warrior has done a $5 super chat. Thanks a lot, Iron Warrior. Brave warrior indeed. He says, I couldn't stop laughing at the bully from Carry 2002 with him killing the pig. Lol. Yeah, I was surprised at how over the top that was. I mean, it started out over the top when he did that weird death stare, when he went to that guy's face and did that weird like serial killer death stare. But then when he was like, I'm not gonna, you go watch it and you'll see what he did with those pigs, what he said. I don't think I've ever seen a scene as over the top as that when it came to killing some pigs. It's like, dude, you realize those pigs don't understand you, right? It was just crazy. Super crazy. Big Bash says, Eric, do you order takeout food whenever you feel hungry while editing? Not while editing, no. I usually prepare my food ahead of time. I know how to make food. But if there's no food, like today's a Sunday, shops closed earlier, so I miscalculated. I thought my local meat shop, I thought they would close later. Turns out they closed earlier today, so I missed the deadline for when they close. So I wasn't able to get the food that I wanted to get, the meat that I wanted to get to make food. I was going to make a rice box. So instead I went and I ordered takeout, because whenever I do live streams, because there's a lot of talking in the 2 hours, I tend to get very hungry by the end of it, and I get very tired. So because of that, I actually thought, you know what, I best just order something. So I ordered something healthy, but I got something that was nice, and I had that before this stream. And then I had a couple of green teas as well, which was also very nice. Oh, Movie King says, I gotta go, Eric. I'll see you next week on the Discord call. Hope you have a good day. You too, buddy. We have a watch party next week, next Sunday, of Coraline. So be sure to join back for that. That'll be a ton of fun. I hope... I haven't seen Coraline in years, so it'll be fun to watch it again. Yeah, Ed, I did know that Warner Brothers is selling its studio, yeah. Rex says Red Dead 2 is a prequel to 1, so you can play them in any order you want. I've heard about that, but the thing is, Red Dead Redemption 2 most likely has better gameplay and better graphics, so to go from Red Dead 2 to Red Dead 1, I'll probably notice the downgrade. So I think it's probably best to start with Red Dead 1 and then go to Red Dead 2 and notice the upgrade. The problem with the Red Dead games, though, is that apparently they go on for a very long time. They're not like your typical, single-player campaign, like, say, Uncharted, for example, or Batman Arkham games. It's like, instead, they go on for many, many hours, and that's something I'm not particularly into. I just want the story segments. I just want the main story campaign. Dark Lord says, believe me, I could have made it even more over the top and trippy. Oh, really? That is be a surprise. I Hate Anime says, yeah, Big Bash, Green Tea is really good. I Hate Anime says, what are your upcoming 2025 movies you're going to watch? Mine are Badlands, Wicked 2, The Running Man, Zootopia 2, Avatar 3. I'm debating whether I should also watch Five Nights at Freddy's 2. We'll see. I have not quite decided. I know I'm going to watch Avatar. I know I'm going to watch... There was another movie coming out this month, wasn't there? What else was there? I know I'm going to watch Avatar 3. Let's put it that way. And I probably know I'm going to watch Predator Badlands because I'm going to review it. So, yeah, I'm kind of going through those right now. Eric, have you seen the game called Dispatch? It's a Telltale's game. I think I've heard of it, never played it. But I've played The Walking Dead Season 1, and I've also played the Telltale's Batman Season 1 and 2. That was a lot of fun. Garrett says, how would you feel if it was announced Back to the Future 4 was in the works? Would not be happy. But at the same time, it wouldn't be as bad as them doing a remake with Tom Holland as Marty McFly. I remember hearing some stuff about that before. That would be terrible. G-Gamer says for him it's Avatar 3 and especially Zootopia 2. I liked Zootopia 2 a lot when we watched it recently on the watch party over on Discord. But the thing is that Disney back then is very different to Disney now, and I hope they do a great job, but I'm really kind of nervous. I hope it's not like a Moana 2 situation where it's just a Disney Plus show they turned into a movie. Jess says, hey Eric, did you get shocked of the opening nudity scene in Carrie 1976? Yeah, I did. I did not expect that. It started out so innocent with Carrie the girls playing volleyball, and then when they just, like, say, screw you, Carrie, all that stuff. Then the very next shot, it's got all that nudity. I was surprised. Very surprised. In fact, we actually skipped forward a little bit. There was just too much of it. Especially when they were showing down there, that area. So, yeah, I was writing my notes, so I had something to like, turn away from. But my brother, we were watching on the projector, he was saying it's actually quite bad. And I was like, what, how bad is it? I looked up and I saw that. I quickly got the remote. I was like, alright, skip. So yeah. Oh, Deadwolf says, got to get going. See you next stream in 2 weeks. No problem, buddy. And if you do join my Patreon and my Discord server, then you can watch Coraline with us next week. So if you're interested, be sure to do that. And plus, I'll get to speak to you finally as well. So that'll also be fun. Anyway, take care, bud. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Oh man, Big Bash says, I have played 54 hours of Red Dead 1 and currently I've played 81 hours of Red Dead 2. Yeah, I don't have that kind of time on me anymore, so I can't do that. I hope you've at least beaten the games in that time. The Dark Lord says, I finished Demon Slayer in the time between last stream, and I must say Tanjiro has crazy patience. He deals with a wimp simping for his sister and a wild boar that likely needs rabies shots. Yeah, indeed, he has insane patience. Yeah. Oh, Goat says, I'm going to bed. Bye. Take care, Goat. We're going to be ending the stream in about 15 minutes. So, yeah, we're going to be heading out soon as well. Let me take a look. Has my live stream been posted on my Discord, I wonder? Let's see. Let me just quickly share this stream on my... very quickly just share this stream on my Discord. Actually, I can't really do that on my phone for some reason. Can one of you guys... Oh, there you go. Oh, thanks, Anime. Appreciate that. You got me indeed. Thank you very, very much. That... Don't know why it wasn't letting me go to my live stream and copy the link for some reason. So thanks, bud. I appreciate that. Really, I do. Oh, King of the Monsters 2021. Glad you showed up, bud. We've got 15 minutes left on the stream. Edits. I don't think I'll do a gaming versus on Titanfall 2 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare because I have to play them from beginning to end. Then I got to record the gameplay. That's like a huge process. Making a gaming versus video is very, very difficult. Immensely difficult. If I do another game versus video, it'll be Spider-Man 1 on the PS4 versus Spider-Man 2 on the PS5. That's what the next one will be. Ah, right. King of the Monster says, my college applications took up most of this week. Well, hopefully when we see you next week, we'll be doing a Coraline watch party on Discord, so I hope I'll see you then, bud. That'll be nice. Khan says, hey Eric, I was able to watch the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie in theaters. I really enjoyed my time there. Really a fun movie. Love my sister's reaction. Oh, nice. Cool. Edit says he would love the Spider-Man PS4 versus Spider-Man 2 video. Yeah, if I do when I do my next game versus video, that will be the one. Oh, King the Monster says, by the way, I want to get into a top-level college. Well, good luck to you, bud. I really wish you the best. Joshman says, Eric, are you going to be seeing Zootopia 2 in theaters? When do you think Disney's going to make up for the box office bombs with the release of the movie? Plus, Zootopia 2 has no hype. I'm sure the hype will materialize with Zootopia 2, but yeah, the hype is surprisingly quiet. Maybe it's because they've not released another trailer. I think they need another trailer. Big Bass says, what do you do in your personal outside of YouTube? Your personal life outside of YouTube, Eric? Like, what hobbies do you enjoy doing in your spare time? Hobbies in spare time? Well, I usually like to, of course, watch movies and shows. I like to go out on long walks. I love going out on long walks. I also hang out with my brother. We both chat a bunch of times, and we go hang out. I like to do that as hobbies. Like I said, recently we watched Shelby Oaks. That was fun to do, and I went with my brother. So yeah, a lot of the times I'm just busy working though. So yeah, hobbies I have it's whatever I feel like I'm in the mood for at the time, but I usually have a lot of different things I'm doing. I Hear Anime says they have a few trailers. But I feel like I've only maybe had a glimmer of one on my YouTube homepage once, but that was about it. King of the Monsters 2021 says, I totally understand Peter wanting to use strange to erase people's memories to get into MIT. Yeah, well, he could have, it wasn't exactly necessary. But then again, that was a silly written scene in the movie. Really silly. Edit says, Marvel or DC, what is better movies in your opinion? I would say DC, because if you're saying overall, definitely DC, because DC has The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight is my favourite movie of all time. Also, Nolan's, I love his Dark Knight trilogy. Batman Begins is one of my favourite origin movies, superhero movies of all time. And Marvel have got plenty of great ones as well, like amazing ones. I love the first Spider-Man movie from Sam Raimi. I also love the first X-Men movie. I also love Logan, Days of Future Past, First Class. I like Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame. I love Civil War, Captain America Winter Soldier, the first Iron Man. Loads of great movies. But I am actually still would rather go with DC if you're saying overall, because The Dark Knight is my favourite movie of all time. Anime says, hey Eric, do you go to premium cinema formats such as IMAX or Dolby, or just stick to standard? I haven't got premium cinema formats in my location. I just have the standard, so that's the best I can do. Although we do have an X Plus screen, which is an even larger screen than usual. So we have that going for ourselves. So I have that. But yeah, sadly I don't have like an IMAX. And the closest IMAX I have is a baby IMAX. And that's still quite far away, so that's disappointing. King of the Monster says, I mean, MIT is like the Cambridge University of America. Yeah, I guess so. Time Shadow is like, yo, bud, when did you get here? Did you just see the post on Discord, I wonder? The live stream post on Discord. Scream vs. Scream 2, says Edits. Edits, I don't know if you know, but do you know I've done Scream 5 versus Scream 6? And I think I've reviewed Scream 5 and 6 separately as well. So I've got like versus videos of those two films. Ah, okay, so Time Shadow did see the stream was happening, but he didn't get a chance to join until now. Well, I'm glad you're joining. I'm supposed to end the stream in 10 minutes. Or 8 minutes now. That would make it 2 hours. I'm glad you joined, buddy. It's glad to see you here. Hey, Big Bash. No, I did not consider going to college because I was homeschooled. So I just decided to stay homeschooled and start working. King of the Monsters. No, I've not graduated university. I was homeschooled and self-taught. Oh, cool. That's great, edits. I hope you enjoy those videos. And please be sure to share them as well and give them a thumbs up when you finish seeing it, because that would just really be fantastic, and I'd really appreciate that. Rohan has joined as well. Hey, bud. It says, how was your weekend? My weekend was very good. Very tiring, because Friday was the day I think I released the... yeah, Friday was the day I released the versus video of Carrie, and I said that versus video, it just destroyed me. It was so much hard work went into it, and I was exhausted by the end of it. So I said it's my favorite versus video I've ever made is my Carrie versus video that I just put up. So if you guys watch it, please do share it and give it that hype points, I think it was, that new hype feature. Do whatever you can to really get that video out there, because I put so much work into that. I even got a little bit ill as well. I got a little bit ill by the end. I was feeling like my head was gonna explode. So please do share that video. I'd love for that video to get as much views as possible, because I really want people to see the work I put into it, which was a lot of work. Oh, Time Shadow, I'm glad. I'm really glad that you've responded back, because I was curious about that. Let's see. Hold on a second, I'm just chatting with the Time Shadow. He's on my private Discord server, that's how I'm able to chat with him right now. This is what I mean when I say I get to chat with you guys. I get to chat with you guys just like this, even when we're not on a live stream. So that's why you'd want to join my private Discord server, because I can have conversations like this with you guys when I'm not even on stream. So it's a great place for all of us, the Discord family, to join, basically. Be part of the Discord family. Angel says, how you feel about Eric? How do you feel about Blumhouse owning the Saw franchise now? I think it's good, because James Wan is attached to it again. So I'd be curious to see what he. I'd be curious to see if. I'd be curious to see if like what he would do with it. Although I did like the previous Saw movie. It's a shame they didn't make another one after that. Any of the Bendy games? I don't think so. When I think Bendy, though, I think. The character of Bendy in the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends game. When you say Bendy, that one was a corrupt Bendy. King of the Monsters, when should I expect K-pop Demon Hunters? Hopefully this month. Hopefully, I'm hoping this month. It's personal stuff. My personal life has gotten busy, but I've got a lot of other videos to do, including commission videos. But I'm working on yours, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna get to work on it soon, so that's all I'll say for now. And we'll talk more next time, but yeah, I'm gonna get to work on it this month. I Anime says, I look forward to what you think of that movie. Yeah, don't worry, I'll be talking about K-pop. Joshua says, Eric, Zootopia's 2 was planned to be a theatrical sequel from the start, so it will not be the Moana 2 situation, and it was designed from the ground up. That is great to hear, because I would hate for it to be like the Lilo and Stitch live-action remake, or Moana 2, where it was just Disney Plus content that they threw over to theaters, both of which made over $1 billion. That is an insult. Oh, Electrify, thank you very much for that $5 donation. Electrify says, if you were to go to college, what would you major in, and which college would you go to? Well, the college I'd probably go to is my local one, and in terms of what I would major in, I don't know. Is there anything in terms of... is there anything in terms of like video editing or filmmaking? I would major in something like that, and that's what I would do. Anything that was related to that, or anything that was related into computers. You know, that I'd probably major in something like that. Time Shadow says, "Hey Eric, I was just wondering, do you happen to know when you're going to record that video I commissioned? Hopefully this month. I've got that commission. I've also got the 2 videos from G Gamer to commission as well. So I'll be reacting to them this month. I'll be trying to react to them this month, and then I'll get them up this month. That's the goal, at least. So yeah, I don't know a lot of my family have seen that show, but I haven't. So it'll be curious to see what that first episode is like of Once Upon a Time." Eric, thoughts on Hotel Transylvania? I love Hotel Transylvania. The first 2 were good, and the 4th one was also good. King of the Monsters, give me a second. Let me take a look. Right here. At what you 2 have sent me. I just gotta wait for this to refresh. If it will refresh. What's happening here? Oh, there we go. Finally. It had been an age. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? Huh. Interesting. And what's the other link that you've sent me? Ethan's drawing and I came up with other fan-made posters, so this one is Ethan's drawing, and then the other one is your... Ooh, nice. Alright, let's download that. And let's download that. What live stream are we in right now? 94. LS 94. And picture number 1. Picture number 2. Okay, let's import it into the Discord right now. So let's see what you guys have got here. Ooh. Do you remember King of the Monsters? Remember what I said about the resolution? It's really big again. I think it could be a bit smaller next time, just so it's easier for me to import and scale into the stream. That would be fantastic. Alright, let's resize these. There we go. Alright then, so let's show the first one, which was from... Where is it? Ethan's drawings. Because he tried to show it earlier, but it wouldn't show. So let's take a look. Alright, so Ethan's drawings did this one right here. Did this picture. Turning Red and Teenage Kraken. That is a very impressive Photoshop job. That looks official. Holy shit, man. Ethan's drawings, you are incredibly talented. That is phenomenal. That looks like what a real poster would look like. They should hire you for a poster like this. Dude. And to think that there is... Oh, hi, Movie Man. Great to see you here, bud. Oh, man. Guys, are you seeing this? This is impressive. This is like we're seeing a lot of posters in Hollywood where they just look fake and they don't look very good. This thing looks phenomenal. Very impressive. Khan even says actually it's a really well edited poster. Looks better than most modern movie posters, says Robin. It does. It looks like a professional poster, says Big Bash. You know what? In fact, Ethan's drawings, let me assign you a task if you're up to it, or if you want to. Try to do that. Here's a task. I'd be very curious to see if you can do it. Let's see if you can. Try to do that, but make a thumbnail for me for my Versus videos. What this looks like it could almost be a Versus thumbnail. What could you do with one of my current videos? Let me take a look at one of my recent ones. You know what? Here's an assignment for you. Take Tim Curry's Pennywise and Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise and try to make a little Versus thumbnail for me, kind of like what you did here. Use the logos, you know, each individual It logo or Pennywise logo, whatever you want to do, and try to do something like that, but in thumbnail form, because I've said this over on my private Discord. I said what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a second YouTube channel where I take my individual segments, like Pennywise versus Pennywise, and the characters versus the characters of It, for example, and I'm going to take the individual segments and put them on a separate channel called Eric Carter Plus, where I'm going to do deleted scenes for Versus videos that never ended up making it. I'll put deleted scenes in there rather than just deleting them, like what I normally do. And I also thought I would also re-edit those videos to make them a bit more fresh, those segments. So in the chapter, when I did my It Versus video, I said that Pennywise said something to Billy that really pissed me off, like I really hated him. I'm going to actually show you the official clip now of what I hated, what he said to Billy. Because when I made that video before, the movie was still in theaters. I had to use trailer footage and stuff. But now I can actually use the footage from the movie, so I'm going to freshen them up a bit. So there'll be rewatch value for you guys to watch on that channel. And I'm trying to come up with thumbnail ideas. I've got a couple, but quite frankly, if you come up with this, then I would actually use your style to dictate what the thumbnails are going to look like for all the videos on that channel. And I'll credit you in every single one of them if you're up for it. Ethan's drawing says, would you like them to be in a different style apart from that poster I did? Yeah, well, try to do this. I'll actually, you know what? I'll leave it to you. Basically, try to do one that is basically Pennywise versus Pennywise, and then try to do another thumbnail, where it's the kids versus the kids from the miniseries Kids versus the movie Kids. Try to do something like that in a similar way to this, something that looks really great and clickable, like, you know, that you'd want to click when you're watching a YouTube video. And I'll be very curious to see what you could do, because I think this is like professional work, bud. This really is impressive. But I'd be curious. I'd like to put that to you and see what you could do, because I think you've really got an artistic mind for this kind of thing. Just looking at this, that is a beautiful poster, really beautiful. So, yeah. Yeah, Khan, I'm planning on making a second channel. I said this on my Discord private Discord server recently, but I've never mentioned it here until now. Oh, Ethan's drawings, that's great on Discord. That'll be amazing to show. Yeah, and you could show everyone on the Discord, and yeah, I'll be very curious to consult you on the poster. But phenomenal work there, bud. That's a 10 out of 10. Seriously, well done, like really well done. Okay, now let's see. This is hold on a second. There we go. Okay, this is King of the Monsters 2021, and King of the Monsters, don't be ashamed of the work that you've done when you first saw that. Your work has been inspired. You're the kind of person that likes to throw a lot of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. But if you actually had your work lined up and you picked which one was the best, you would come up with equally great results. That is a great poster. I've always said this about you. I don't know how you are able to take these posters of two things that should not fit together, but somehow they do. I can't remember what it was, but you did one a long time ago. I think it was with King Kong and Godzilla or something. And you did some kind of crossover where I was like, you know what? I actually want to see that crossover. I think it was involving Godzilla from King of the Monsters with something else, but I can't remember what it was. And I remember I loved it. I was like, I want to see more of that. In fact, give me a second. I've got all your pictures saved here. Oh yeah, here you go. Here's one. Oh dang it, it's a web file and this software doesn't play nice with web files. Give me a second. Image, add source. Oh man, this software, live streaming. Live stream 35. Images. Live stream 35. Here's one that you did, which I was very impressed with. I was like, wow, I actually want to see this movie. It was when you did this. It might have been Godzilla and Dune as well. But you've made a lot of really impressive posters where I'm like, wow, I want to see that movie. And that's one of them. Where I was like, cool, this I want to see. And I'm going through my list here of more that you've done. You've sent me many over the years. These are amazingly impressive. So don't sell yourself short. You have really got an eye for these things. But I think if you try to do like... you do many of them, like I said, you're throwing a lot of stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks, but I think if you went for more, took more time and did some like quality over quantity, I think you would have hit after hit after hit after hit. Whereas a lot of the times you have hit, a couple that are not fully fleshed out ideas, and then you have a couple more that are hits. But I think if you try to do that, I think you would actually do a phenomenal job. So yeah, don't keep it up. I love looking at these, and like I said, I've got these all stored up on my computer. I've got even these new 2 ones stored up too, so these are truly wonderful. These are great. So yeah, you've done a terrific job there, buddy. Really terrific job. You should be very proud because you are very, very talented. I've got very talented viewers here. Really, I do. It might have been the Godzilla and Dune one, but that Batman one was another. But yeah, phenomenal job, buddy. Like, really phenomenal job. Oh, was Batman and Godzilla supposed in the 60s? I never knew that. Now I'm disappointed that they never did it. Yeah. But yeah, Ethan's drawings. Can't wait to see what you do because, like I said, at my mind, I'm trying to think what kind of thumbnails I would do. But yeah, if you could do something that looks as professional and beautiful as what you just did, then yeah, that would be great. The Dark Lord says, maybe make a video simply of all the fan posters you ever gotten for the Eric Carter Plus channel. Yeah, that's another idea. I can make a video like that. I want to first start by just making the channel full of verses like segments, so it looks nice and clean for any new person coming into the channel, and then I can try. When I do make that new channel, I would really love for you guys to subscribe to it when you can, because you can't monetize a new channel unless you get 1,000 subscribers and then a certain number of views. And like I said, all these videos that I do, I will be re-editing them so they will be fresher and they will have new elements in them, whether it's new footage, whether I add in a bit of an additional opinion, or whether I add some extra context to some of my opinions, because before I couldn't use actual footage, but now I can because the movie's released, whereas it wasn't at the time of those Versus videos. You're going to want to subscribe to the Eric Carter Plus channel. You'll get much more. You'll get additional content, and you'll also get refreshed content, almost like remastered content from before. So yeah. Great. Can't wait, bud, to see what you do. You got a very creative mind for these kinds of posters, and just looking at that was a beautifully rendered and beautifully composed photo. Disney would be lucky to have someone like you actually working for them, Whereas some of the people that they hire now are just doing some AI, what it looks like, with posters, and they're doing some like very messed up Photoshop jobs. But yeah, you've got a real keen eye, so I'm very curious to see what you can do with a thumbnail type thing like that. That would be really fun to see what you could do. Khan says, I'll make sure time code that as usual this time. Yeah, no problem. Big Bash says, when would you make the Eric Carter Plus channel most likely? Once I've got some videos. Well, you know what? I guess I could make it soon. I'll make the channel soon, but I don't think I'll have any videos on it for a bit because I'm gonna have to make them on the side whilst I'm making all my usual content. So it'll have to be something like that, is what it will be. So yeah. Josh Manser, can you read my comment? Where is your comment? There we go. Eric Carter, here's a good idea for a future versus video. Why not do one on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory 1971 versus Charlie and the Chocolate Factory 2005? I think that should be a good one. I was thinking of doing that one for a long time, but I remember I never did it because the Nostalgia Critic did a versus video on it, and I remember at the time his opinions kind of echoed mine, so I never got around to doing the versus video because I thought he made it, so there's no point. But I guess, you know, everyone's got their own opinions. I think time has changed. If anything, I do have probably more positive things to say about the 2005 movie than I did back then. So I guess, yeah, that would be a relevant versus video for me to make. A Charlie and the Chocolate Factory versus video. I'll consider it. G-Gamer says, adding a plus to the end sounds very trendy. Ethan's Drawing says, do you want the versus logo in the middle, or do you want me to do whatever with it? Do whatever with it. And also try to do the versus video in the middle, and we'll just see how it goes. But do whatever. I'd say whatever comes to your mind as something that looks like it's got a great contrast, because what you did with this, let's show it again. What you did with this is there's a great contrast. There's a distinct division between the two. And you've made the two really stand out, and it's very eye-catching. Like, if this was a thumbnail and someone was scrolling through it, that would actually stand out. And it looks very luxurious, this picture does. And I love what you did with the water. The ocean right here. That you can see, where is it? There you go. The ocean right here. How it's like perfectly divided between the red and the blue in the center. And how both these characters look like they could be in the same movie. That is amazing. I don't know, if you could just try to aim that into a versus thumbnail, that would actually be exciting, and it would almost be like really nice. So let's see what you can do. Like, if it's hard to explain, find something that looks really nice and that looks really appealing to click. That would be really cool. Because yeah, that would be amazing. Time Shadow says, hey Eric, is there anything else that you'd say needs fixing about the last draft I sent you, or is that one all good now? Did you send me another one? I don't think... I must have missed it. I don't think I've seen it. Send it to me again, and I'll have another look at it, and then I'll respond to you, because I must have missed it somewhere, I think. So then I'll respond to you then. Ethan's Drawing said, this might be a challenging one. I'm currently working on it right now. Well, be sure to send it to the Discord, like you said, and everyone will have their say on what it looks like. But yeah, no, that would be really special if one of you guys are the ones to make the new thumbnail to the first video on my second channel. That would be something that would be a very pleasant way to start things off, on that second channel. So yeah, and keep in mind it will also be kind of like a template for other thumbnails. If there's that would be interesting too. I think it kind of work as a template. G-Gamer says, I still haven't sadly seen, I think, Nazar 2. Yeah, I've not seen that either. Yeah. But this was this was a fun time. That was like I said, not doing these live streams every week. I think it really has. It really has made it a lot more fun. I actually had a lot more fun talking to all of you guys today, and you guys were also very generous with the super chats. Always appreciative when you guys do that, and it was just nice. This was a very nice, pleasant time. Sometimes when I do live streams, I think I was one a week was probably too much, to the point that it was actually kind of becoming overbearing, and I was actually getting a bit not stressed, but I felt like there was this pressure to have to make all these videos and do a live stream every week where I had to prep the stories, get the thumbnails and everything like that. But doing this has actually been an absolute pleasure. This was much more relaxed. I felt like it was nice to speak to you guys again. And like I said, next week we're going to do another Discord live chat. We're going to do another live call on Discord, and what we're going to do next week is we're going to do a watch party of Coraline. So if you guys want to watch Coraline with us and you want to join the watch party and we can all talk about the movie, I can talk to you guys what I thought about this film in my childhood, and then I can give you my fresh take and my fresh thoughts on it and give my narration on the film, then all you got to do is, like I said, join my private Discord server. My private Discord server, where is it gone? My private Discord server is right... Where is it gone? Oh, damn, that Coraline poster is in the way. Here. My private Discord server is right here. If you join that perk over on Patreon, not only are you supporting my channel and helping me do this full time, which is the dream and the goal, and again, the dream, but you're also going to be joining and supporting me over on Patreon. You're going to also be part of the Discord family, and you get all of these perks. Trailer reactions, early access to Versus videos. People got early access to my Carry Versus video as well. My game show and my Let's Watch show, plus Discord and watch parties. So there is a ton of additional content you get for that. Plus, you really do help support the channel. And like I said, the watch party perk is going to go up in price but when this year comes to a close. So, you know, get in there now so you can at least enjoy the watch party, and you can see what, you know, you'll have a really good time, I guarantee it. The last two watch parties we did was Zootopia and Monster House, and next one is going to be Coraline. So Halloween is over, but we're going to have one more go at a Halloween watch party before we end. You know, before we end and we go over to Thanksgiving watch parties and then Christmas watch parties. And eventually I'll also allow you guys to do votes, so you can vote for what movie we do at the watch party as well. So yeah, I hope you guys have a phenomenal time, and like I said, if you join, it means you're part of the Discord family, and you're also helping support the channel and allow me to do this full time. So guys, that is me basically signing out. Big Bash, I'll let you guys know how much the watch party perk will be when I up the price later, because I always said it was always meant to be a higher perk, but I was only doing it at this level so we could try it out and see if it was successful, and so far it has been. So the perk will go up, but I'll let you guys know that later. Right now you can enjoy it as it is. King of the Monsters 2021 has donated a £1 super chat. He says, I got more posters of Godzilla. K-pop IMAX. That's 3 posters. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, the Dark Lord, good night. He's got some more posters he wants to show, so hang on, let me just load them up. That's 4 of them. Damn it, come There we go. Number 1, number 2. I'm not even looking at them right now. I'm gonna look at them for the first time when I put them in the stream. I'm just downloading them all. Alright. Okay. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Alright. Okay, let's start with the first one. Okay, here's the first one. The first one is this. I take it, is this the 3D one, is it? But yeah, that looks cool. I like the lightsabers. Well, what looks like she's holding a lightsaber. I think that is a lightsaber. The purple theme actually looks really good here. I like the purple color scheme you got. And let's see, we've also got... Oh no, here's the 3D one. Oh yeah, okay, the sword glows, no problem. It looked like, I thought you had put a lightsaber in her hand just to go with the aesthetic, because it looked like it was edited in. Oh, that's a really cool photo. King of the Monsters, have you donated an extra quid? Because I don't see that here. Normally you see when someone's donated an extra. I don't see that here. Okay, and then here's another one. That looks really good. I like the scale that you've done with Godzilla. He looks much taller. So I really like the look of that. That looks really, really good. That does. I love how vibrant it is too, because some of these others are a bit dim, but the vibrancy on this one, I love the vibrancy. It really, really goes, and it matches the two characters. And then the font. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm just listening to it on the live stream. The voice does seem to be coming through. I'm just listening to it on the live stream. The voice does... Oh, you can hear me now. Oh, that was bizarre. Yeah, I said this was very creative. I like how you've made them roar at the sky, Godzilla, when in the movie he's roaring at the sky. But really, you put the demon slayers, the demon hunters in the sky, and you've made it look like he's roaring at them. So that is a really cool design. That is very clever. I thought that was very, very clever. And the Time Shadow has done a £5 super chat. He goes, the last one I sent was the one I sent last Sunday that you were trying to access on your phone. Oh, right. I'll send it again, and I should be able to receive it this time. Okay, cool. Okay, so with that said, well done everyone on the posters. Ethan's drawings, well done. King of the Monsters 2021, fantastic job. And the Time Shadow, thank you very much for your comment, your reply to my comment. That was very much appreciated. And yeah, had an absolute blast chatting with all of you guys. Big Bashers, what time is it in the UK? It's 1:29 a.m. So it's very, very late, or very, very early, whatever way you want to look at it. I've got some work to do. I've got some bits and bats to do. For those of you that have watched, again, I thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. Please do share that Carrie versus video, because like I said, I put so much work into that video. It is unbelievable, and I really want it to get as much views as possible, because I just put that much work into it. So hype it as much as you can, share it as much as you can, give it a thumbs up if you haven't, comment on it if you haven't. All these things really do help in pushing it in the YouTube algorithm, and of all the videos I've made, this is the one I really wish it gets shared as much as possible, because effortless amount of work went into this, to the point that I was like having sleepless nights editing it. I was sick and I had to force myself to edit it when I had caught a cold and all that kind of stuff. So as much as you can, if you guys can share that, I would appreciate that so much you wouldn't believe. So yeah, with that in mind, with that said, and if you remember that Coraline, we've got this watch party next week. I will see all of you next week. Had an absolute blast. Cannot wait to speak to you guys again. In another couple of weeks, I'll be supercharged like I was today, and we can have, you know, much more in-depth conversations. Hopefully more stories come out for whatever movies or whatever, because I was struggling to find some stories today, but we managed. And yeah, it was a absolutely wonderful time. And King of the Monsters, what a conclusion to the stream indeed. And I cannot wait to see all of you guys next week and to chat with the rest of you on the Discord server. So we'll have existing friends and maybe even newer friends all joining the Discord, and we'll be watching Coraline together next week. So thank you very much everyone for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will catch all of you very, very soon. Take care.